TCF जरूरतमंद बच्चों के लिए तालीम के मैदान में पाकिस्तान का एक बड़ा इदारा है। पिछले 25 सालों में TCF ने मियारी तालीम के जरिए 41,521 से जायद तुलबा की जिंदगियों को तब्दील किया है। TCF के 1,652 स्कूल्स पाकिस्तान के मज़ाफाती और देही इलाकों में मौजूद हैं, जहां 2,66,000 तुलबा ज़ेरे तालीम हैं। इकोनॉमिस्ट ने TCF को दुनिया में निजी स्कूल्स का सबसे बड़ा नेटवर्क करार दिया है। TCF पाकिस्तान का सबसे बड़ा निजी इदारा है, जिसमें 12,000 से ज्यादा खवातीन का स्टाफ बहसियत असातिज़ा और प्रिंसिपल्स मुंसलिक हैं। कोरोना के बहरान ने पाकिस्तान में तकरीबन 10 लाख बच्चों को स्कूल छोड़ने पर मजबूर कर दिया है। TCF इनकी तालीम को जारी रखने के लिए कोशिश है।
Salam Seattle, and welcome to TCF Seattle's 2021 annual fundraiser. My name is Sana Mazam.
And my name is Nida Nawaz. Let's start today's program with a recitation from a few verses from the Holy Quran, done by our very own Ali Akbar.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما لكم ألا تنفقوا في سبيل الله ولله ميراث السماوات والأرض لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل أولئك أعظم درجات من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا وكلا وعد الله الحسنى والله بما تعملون خبير ما ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا فيضاعفه له وله أجر كريم إن المصدقين والمصدقات وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا يضاعف لهم ولهم أجر كريم صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you for that beautiful recitation, Ali Akbar. May Allah always keep you blessed. For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome to our TCF annual fundraiser. Although we miss seeing all of you in person, due to the ongoing pandemic, we have decided to keep this fundraiser virtual this year. But we will do our very best to make sure that you are entertained. Thank you to all of our viewers who have joined us today to support us in this wonderful cause. There is no organization that I am more passionate about than the Citizens Foundation. TCF is something I'm incredibly passionate about, and as a surgeon and a residency director, I know the importance of education and the vital role it plays in not only the person receiving it, but the community that one day will benefit from it. But none of that would be possible without the people that dedicate their lives to making that education possible. They are the ones that shape our future. This is one of the reasons that this year we have decided to put the spotlight on the members of the TCF team, the teachers.
Echoing Nida, in the past fundraisers, we have talked about the schools, the beautiful buildings, the teachers, the students, and their stories. But this year, we really wanted to celebrate the superheroes who have been nourishing these kids' dreams. I'm sure each one of you has also had a great experience with a teacher in your life who has encouraged you and helped you come to the point where you are at today. I'm sure those teachers left a lasting impact on you, and you remember their stories and their advice that they gave you. I know that I remember mine. In the past year or so, COVID has majorly affected all of our lives. The day-to-day has completely changed. I remember when Seattle had its first shutdown in March. I was in my last semester of undergrad, and I remember having to spend the rest of my time in undergrad virtually. It was difficult making such a quick transition to online learning, but I was lucky to have great professors who helped me through the process and made online teaching a breeze. And without their wonderful instruction, I don't think that the Zoom classes would have been as effective.
Similarly, TCF teachers had to put an extra effort to ensure that their students' learning went unaffected. TCF has put together a few objectives to actually lessen the burden that COVID has provided. They're providing extra scholarships and waiving fees, and also offering more flexible hours for kids to go to school with. They've also expanded access and re-enrolling students that are private school dropouts. 15% of private schools around Pakistan have closed due to the COVID burden. And now TCF is trying to accommodate those very students and getting them back into school, which is exactly why tonight we are celebrating the TCF teachers. They have a tangible effect on the lives of all the TCF students they touch. To all the TCF teachers tonight, we dedicate everything to you.
So despite us doing a virtual program tonight, Nida and I are dedicated to keep you guys entertained. I do recommend you watch the program on a TV or a laptop, as the small screen on your phone might be a little difficult to follow the content. We have a great program lined up for you guys tonight. During our program, we are excited to have the opportunity to speak to a TCF alum, have a Q&A with some community members, meet celebrity guests, including Meera Sethi and Amjad Noorani, as well as be entertained by videos made by our very own TCF Seattle kids and youth. And most importantly, we're going to raise a lot of money tonight, inshallah.
Inshallah. So why are we raising all this money tonight? Let's start with a little glimpse of what TCF does for at-risk communities in Pakistan.
मेरे पास ऐसे बहुत से वाक़यात हैं जिसमें मुझे खुद वालिदैन ने ये आके कहा कि जी असी डंगर हैं, सानू नहीं कुछ पता। पहले वो समझते थे कि बच्चे को अपने साथ खेतों में लगा लेंगे या मजदूरी पे ले जाएंगे, बच्चा दिहाड़ी करेगा तो हमारे घर में 4 पैसे आएंगे। लेकिन अब वही वालिदैन आते हैं, वो कहते हैं कोई बात नहीं, हम तंगी से गुजारा कर लेंगे, हमारा बच्चा पढ़ लिख जाए। इतने साल पहले अवेयरनेस इतनी नहीं थी, बच्चे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स वगैरह में जा रहे थे और लड़कियां तो पढ़ ही नहीं रही थी। एडमिशन के लिए मैंने कम्युनिटी विजिट किए, पेरेंट्स को मोटिवेट किया है कि आप बच्चों को स्कूल में भेजें। कुछ पेरेंट्स पसंद भी नहीं करते बात करना, लेकिन आहिस्ता आहिस्ता उन्हें इस चीज़ पे लाना कि जो तालीम है वो बहुत ज़रूरी है। अगर आप अपने घर को बदलना चाह रहे हैं तो आप सिर्फ एक तालीम ही है जिसके ज़रिए आप बदल सकते हैं। और अगर हम बोलें कि TCF ने अगर हमारे इस माशरे में चेंज किया, तो वाकई ये सफ़र मैंने अपनी आंखों से देखा कि 10 साल पहले जो लोग थे उनकी बात करने का तरीकाकार, उनकी सोच और थी। आज मुझे बहुत फ़ख्र से कहना पड़ रहा है कि मेरे पास जितना स्टाफ है उसमें से 90% मेरा स्टाफ TCF की ही पढ़ी हुई लड़कियों पर मुश्तमिल है।
मैं 8th क्लास में थी जब मेरा TCF में एडमिशन हुआ। मैंने मैट्रिक भी वहीं से किया, BA भी वहीं से किया और अब मैं माशाल्लाह मैट्रिक तक बच्चों को पढ़ाती हूँ। बचपन का तो मैंने हालांकि खेलते कूदते ही याद है इतना, यानी कि पढ़ाई की तरफ तो कुछ भी नहीं था। थोड़ी सी सेंस आई, शायद TCF में गए, फिर पता चला कि पढ़ाई भी कोई चीज़ है। शुरू में ये खाली खाली सा गांव था, बच्चे यानी कि गलियों में खेलते थे। जैसे स्कूल बना, लोगों में अवेयरनेस आई तो बच्चे स्कूल जाना शुरू हुए। बच्चों में फ़र्क आ जाता है, उठने बैठने की तमीज़ आ जाती है। इस तरह फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता काफ़ी लोगों ने अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया। पहले हमारे गांव में 1-2 शॉप थी बुक्स की और अब माशाल्लाह हर गली में शॉप है, और ये इसी वजह से बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं तो है।
ख़ास तौर पे यहाँ लड़कियों की तालीम नहीं थी इतनी ज़्यादा, लोग बेटों को तो भेज देते थे कि बच्चियों की तो शादियाँ ही करनी है। पर तो मुख्तलिफ घरों में जाना और मुख्तलिफ पेरेंट्स से मिलना और उन्हें कायल करना कि आप बेटों के साथ बेटियों को भी स्कूल भेजें, क्योंकि तालीम तो दोनों के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। TCF ने लोगों की सोच में बहुत ज़्यादा तब्दीली लिया है और कि उन्हें पता चल गया है कि अगर हमारे घर के हालात भी बदल सकते हैं तो वो तालीम ही है। तालीम के बगैर कुछ भी मुमकिन नहीं है। सिर्फ एजुकेशन ही है जो इन बच्चों के घरों में तब्दीली लाएगी।
I love what TCF has done for Minhala, truly, but there are still so many areas around Pakistan that need those same resources that we saw in this video just now.
Absolutely. But despite the difficulties in access to education, TCF is incredibly proud of the fact that it is the #1 employer of women in the private sector in Pakistan. So you see, TCF not only empowers children, but it empowers women as well. As the video pointed out, 90% of the teachers there were actually former students. So essentially, they're breaking that cycle of poverty. This just goes to show the power behind your contributions, which is why we're hoping that you pledge today. There are multiple levels that you can choose to pledge at. Understand that there is no number value that's too little or too great. Our community has been building schools for years now. We are proud to say that we have built 29 schools. Today's goal is to ensure that all the schools built by our community continue to function and are funded through the year. Inshallah, we'll build more in the future, but we definitely need to make sure that those 29 schools that we are funding continue to run. Remember that it costs, as you can see, $22,000 to operate one school for an entire year, which means that we must raise at least $700,000 just to keep the schools going. This $22,000 covers all operational costs and construction costs. Seattle, it's our duty to make sure that these schools continue to function and keep those students' dreams alive.
So, the important part. How can we donate? You'll see a ticker running at the bottom of the screen that has instructions. You can either WhatsApp or text Salman Zafar. You can use the QR code on the screen as well, or donate via the website.
So last year, we were able to raise about $1.2 million, which is amazing, Seattle. But since, Sana, it's you and I hosting this show, and we know that both of us really would like to push that bar a little bit higher. We're going to make sure that Seattle beats that record this year.
Oh, I have no doubt that we can beat that record. When Neda and I were asked to MC, we really truly wanted to beat this record, so we decided to set the goal at $1.5 million. Growing up in the Seattle community, I know how generous everyone here is, and your contributions are always valued so much. I know we can step up to the plate and reach this goal. Think about it this way. Supporting even one TCF classroom for a year would cost you less than the amount you might spend on your daily latte at Starbucks. Truly, every single dollar matters.
Well, Sana, let's take a look at how those dollars can be used. Like mentioned before, you can donate an entire school for a whole year for $22,000. If you'd like to sponsor half the school for the year, you can do so by donating and pledging $11,000 today. Know that that'll sponsor 90 students for their entire year of school.
You can also sponsor a whole classroom for $3,300, and that would cover the entire year. In addition to that, you can also sponsor a single child for $120, and that would put them through an entire year of school, covering all costs, tuition, books, schooling, anything you can think of.
Please remember that your generous donations today are both tax deductible and zakat eligible. So there's no excuse, Seattle. Donate to this wonderful cause.
And the best part is, your pledge can be made today, but paid this year as well as through 2022. Look, we all need to pay zakat every single year. Might as well make the best of the situation and pay during Ramadan if you wish. Educate a classroom, a student, anything helps.
Absolutely. Well, We are now extremely excited to be joined by our first guest. Our first guest is Amjad Noorani. He is one of the members of TCF. He has been actively involved in TCF since 1999, back when there's only 30 schools. Just for perspective, there is now 1,697 TCF schools. He is a team builder with TCF-USA and an active participant of global chapter conferences in Pakistan. It is an honor to have him here today.
Most recently, he wrote a phenomenal book called Agents of Change, which we have right here. And he is a dedicated activist for education reform in Pakistan. We have already sent a copy of this book to all of our regular donors, but in case you didn't get it, please reach out to Salman Zafar. Amjad Sahib, salam and welcome. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story and how you got involved in TCF?
Assalamu alaikum, Nida and Sana. And with a big salute to our teachers, I will tell you about the book. But first of all, it's a tremendous privilege to be a part of the TCF family. As a family, everything we do is for the children and the future of Pakistan. And I will ask all our new potential donors to join in this movement to support TCF and support education in Pakistan. About the book, well, writing and compiling the book has been a tremendously rewarding experience. And I hope that many of you will order one from Amazon or your favorite place. The book is dedicated to Abdul Sattar Adi, the iconic humanitarian of our times. And in that spirit, I also want to share that all royalties from the book, which will be about 10% of the sale amount of the book, will go towards an Abdul Sattar Adi TCF scholarship fund.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. So the purpose and message of the book are to create greater awareness of the challenges in the K-12 education system and how education can move our underprivileged communities from poverty to prosperity.
All right. Well, how has TCF had an impact on changing the quality of education and influencing education policy?
Thank you. TCF provides very strong evidence of impact and a workable template for how quality education can be delivered on a large scale. It has innovative programs in well-managed formal schools for underprivileged children, especially for the education and empowerment of girls. The programs are continuously enhanced and improved. The curriculum or the content of our textbooks is developed and reviewed by our in-house experts in academics. Our student enrollment is 275,000 students, of which nearly 50% are girls. And I'm sure this is a stat that you will repeat often this evening. We are very proud of this fact.
Absolutely.
TCF also has strong emphasis on the academic quality of education, the pedagogy or teaching methods, curriculum review, and quality assurance at all levels. Our teacher training program is nationally recognized with pre-service training for all teachers, plus annual professional development for all teachers. We are progressively developing our digital learning programs with current technology within the limitations of local conditions. And there is well-planned expansion of our programs based on data-driven results and pilot outcomes. The second part of your question had to do with policy changes
Yes.
And that is a challenge which will take considerable political and public advocacy and public awareness to demand reforms in the system. But I can share the good news that TCF is making good progress in the policy area as well. Because of its credibility and well-managed systems and our very capable team leaders, TCF is often asked for inputs in policy discussions. So we can say that now we have a seat at the table and we are part of the policy conversation.
Well, that's unbelievable. And you raised some excellent points. I know you touched on this a little bit, but could you speak a little bit more on what really needs to happen to make Pakistan's education system more successful?
Well, education is important, but what is taught and how it is taught is even more important. Parents are really the investors in the education of their children. So, as the primary stakeholders, parents should be the most concerned about what is in the curriculum and how it is taught. But the poor have no voice. It is up to us, the elite, the affluent, and influential segments of our society, to be the voice of demand for the poor. I believe that we must influence systemic changes in education, and for that, we need to first of all learn about and then deeply study the complex challenges, understand the issues, and then submit actionable and well thought out proposals for change.
Yes.
I also believe that this is best done by a single collective voice as a coalition of civil society groups in Pakistan, as well as individuals like you and me. As champions for education, we must have deep compassion for the needs of the underprivileged. We must recognize our obligation for social justice, and we must strive for equal opportunity for education of all children as a human right.
Absolutely. And speaking of those community members that are starting to give that voice out for everybody, we do have some donations that we'd like to share. We have $5,000 from Madiha and Shoaib Rasul. Thank you so much for that contribution.
We have $25,000 from Yasmin and Javed Akram. And I really have to stop here for a second. They are so important to our community. Javed Akram and Yasmin Akram, for me, Javed Uncle and Yasmin Auntie, they started TCF Seattle, and they're really the ones who put in the roots and helped it become the successful organization it is today. I've seen them throughout my life being so charitable and always giving a helping hand. And I don't think that we would truly have made as much progress as we have without their help.
Yes. Thank you, Javed Bhai. And then we have $500 from Anusha and Jahanzeb Ikram. Thank you so much for that contribution.
We have $1,000 from Mariam Fahad and Fahad Mudassir. Thank you.
Sabine and Yunus Aftam has donated $10,000. Thank you so much for that contribution.
We have $2,000 from Dr. Suleiman Khan. Thank you.
And Hira and Adil Hafiz have donated $10,000 as well. Thank you. May Allah reward you for your donations.
We have $4,000 from Sara and Javed Iqbal. Bahut shukriya.
Sadia and Farhan Khan, $4,000.
And from Anzar Hamid, we have $130. And from his sister as well, Sana Hamid, we have $40. Thank you so much. These are Hamid Uncle's kids, and we truly are so lucky to have him here. Without Hamid Uncle, we would not be having the show run as smoothly as it does. He is a phenomenal director.
He is. He is our show's director, and we thank him for all the hard work he's been doing. Next, we have $5,000 from Sauda and Tashfeen Ikram.
We have $5,000 from Amal Qudsiya and Naveed Iqbal as well. And
all right. Well, thank you to our guest, Amjad Noorani, for coming out today. Aapka bahut bahut shukriya. Thank you for your contributions and everything that you've done for TCF. Thank you for sharing your insights today with us and joining us today.
Thank you both. And I will again encourage all donors to be generous today and through Seattle help education in Pakistan.
Okay. Allah
Shukriya,
Hafiz.
Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
you.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Sana, I think it's time to take a look at how we've been doing tonight. Let's get a first progress on on how we've been doing.
All right, Seattle, $170,000. That is a great start. We still have a long ways to go, but this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Look, Seattle, we've just gotten started and we're off to a flying start. We have a lot more to go. We have to reach that 1.5 million. You know, Sana, the stock market's been doing really well lately, and we're all sitting on capital gains. Instead of just selling those stocks and having to pay taxes on them, we encourage you to actually donate those stocks in full, and you can do that through your brokerage. You don't have to pay any taxes on those stocks if you're donating, and actually you can claim that towards deductible on your taxes this year.
We actually have, speaking of donations, another round of donations. So go ahead.
All right. So this is somebody that I know very well. She works with me in a physicians organization, Samra and Khalid Hafiz. They are part of PAGS, which I also am a part of. And we thank you so much for your contributions to the community, including putting on the Abadi Mehfils.
And from the Zafar family, so Aisha Auntie, Salman Uncle, thank you so much. We have $50,000. And this is another TCF family who has been here for such a long time and is truly dedicated to making TCF as wonderful as it is today. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Thank you.
To both of them, those two, they have been a part of TCF for so long. They work so hard. And all of us feel like you're a part of our family. So thank you again for everything you do. Yes, and I got one that I think you should actually read.
From Mona and Asfar Mazam, we have $25,000. Bahut shukriya. I honestly, the only reason I'm even here today is because everything I've seen my parents do with all of the charitable donations and the help and volunteer work they do, they're the ones who motivated me and inspired me. So shukriya for everything.
We have Sheila and Saad Saeed with $22,000. Now they both are regular donors. Their family always participates through things. We do wish you the best of luck on your new job, Saad.
From Anam and Omer Ahmad, we have $10,000. Thank you so much.
$2,500 from Mariam and Hada Saeed.
From Kishwar and Farooq, we have $500. Thank you.
From Maria and Salman Parta, we have $20,000. Maria will be joining us today, but she too also puts in so much energy year after year. For those of you who got some of the books, know that she was a part of that. Thank you again, Maria, for everything you do.
And we have an anonymous donor who has given us $14,000. Thank you so much.
Now we have some donors that are actually some of my favorite donors. They are two girls that I've watched grow up. They're beautiful young women that are intelligent, smart. Zena and Hiba Arbi. Zena has donated $100 and Hiba $50. To both of you, I know you guys are going to do amazing things. This just is a small token of how you guys really are with your giving personalities. We love you. TCF loves having you here. Thank you for your donations.
And from Faiza and Hamid Ali, we have $25,000. Thank you. And, Hamid Ali is one of our favorite realtors in Seattle. So may Allah give you more success, inshallah. And thank you again for this $25,000.
Thank you, Hamid Bhai. And then Sabah and Farhan Ali Saleem have donated $300.
And from Zainab and Bilal Khan, we have $2,500. Thank you so much for this gift.
Just reading all these really, I hope, encourages you all to donate today.
And please remember, you don't have to write that check today. You can donate in the month of Ramadan to get those rewards. And honestly, anytime through 2022.
You have the entire year, so there's really no excuse. Please pledge today.
And, speaking of all the hard work we put in to make that hard-earned money for the donations, it's time to meet someone who has faced many challenges and has come out on top. She is a TCF graduate and knows the benefits of having the amazing TCF teachers. Her journey and success serves as an inspiration to us all. She's currently a neurology resident in Toledo in Ohio. But before we meet her, let's watch a quick video about Dr. Sidra Saleem.
आज का दिन मेरे लिए बहुत ख़ास है क्योंकि मैं TCF हेड ऑफिस आई हूँ और बहुत ही एक अच्छे मकसद के लिए आई हूँ। TCF से मेरा ताल्लुक जो है वो 1998 से स्टार्ट हुआ था और 2009 तक रहा, लेकिन उसके बाद जब मेरा डाउ में एडमिशन हो गया उसके बाद भी TCF मेरे साथ साथ रहा। मैं अभी डाउ मेडिकल कॉलेज से 2017 में ग्रेजुएट हुई हूँ और फिर मैंने अपनी हाउस जॉब स्टार्ट की। तो हाउस जॉब के स्टार्ट के दौरान तो जब हम लोग सब बैठ के डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि हम लोग जो है वो अपनी फर्स्ट सैलरी से क्या करेंगे, तो कुछ लोग पाकिस्तान टूर पे जाना चाह रहे थे, कुछ लोग जो हैं वो उससे बहुत सारी शॉपिंग करना चाह रहे थे और कुछ लोगों की और एक्टिविटीज़ थी। लेकिन उस वक्त मैंने ये सोचा था कि मैं कुछ ऐसा करूँगी अपनी फर्स्ट सैलरी से जिससे सोसाइटी में चेंज आ सके, और चेंज से मेरे जहन में जो है वो TCF का नाम हमेशा सबसे पहले आता है क्योंकि वो मेरी ज़िंदगी में चेंज या तब्दीली लाने का बायस था। आज मैंने अपना चेक जो है वो सर असद साहब को प्रेजेंट किया है और मुझे उम्मीद है कि उन्हें बहुत अच्छा लगा होगा, बल्कि सिर्फ उन्हें नहीं TCF की पूरी फैमिली को बहुत अच्छा लगा होगा क्योंकि जो सफ़र उन लोगों ने बहुत टाइम पहले शुरू किया था अब जो है वो उसका फ्रूट उनके सामने आ रहा है और अब जो TCF अलमनाए हैं इंशाल्लाह वो TCF की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को चलाएंगे।
Please welcome TCF graduate Sidra Saleem, who is joining us despite her busy schedule to show her support for TCF. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us with the TCF cause.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Assalamu alaikum Sana and Neta. Thank you so much for having me and helping the Seattle chapter in this noble cause. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Sidra, we've learned a little bit about your success story, but can you tell us a little bit about how you got here? Tell us a little bit more about your journey from childhood to med school and throughout.
Yeah, so a little bit of my introduction that have already been given by Sana and also a little bit in the video, but I'm a TCF graduated in 2009. I studied in TCF from kindergarten till grade 10, went to the med school, the top one, on purely merit, Dow Medical College in Karachi. And Alhamdulillah, I'm doing my residency in the US right now. So starting from the beginning, my parents, they actually migrated from a very small village in the interior center to Karachi. Just for the sake of the earning. They moved to the Ibrahim Goat. Ibrahim Goat is a very slum area in Karachi. The Kachi Abadis in Karachi are the areas that are not recognized by the government. Okay. Because they are not recognized by the government, so they don't have the basic facilities like no access to education, no access to healthcare, no basic necessities, nothing at all. And they struggle for their basic needs. Before TCF was built in my area, the nearest school was like a few miles away and where my elder siblings used to go. And the standard of education in that school was when my elder sister transferred to TCF in grade 8, she didn't even know how to write the English alphabets. Uh-huh. I am very lucky, fortunate that when I started my education, TCF was there for me. People ask me like, why did I go to TCF? And I gave them a very simple answer that I didn't have a choice at that time. So I just went to the TCF. But I didn't know that how fortunate and lucky I am to go to the TCF. TCF was not like a school to me. It was like a home to me where I learned, other than the education, I learned how can be confident in my life, what I want in my life, how can I dream, or how can I work on those dreams to get into that. As a children growing in the urban slums and where parents have very limited education, usually the guidance is not very straightforward. But I'm glad that my teachers were there who helped us, guide us, arrange the career counseling sessions for us, helped us to realize that what exactly we need to do in their life and provide us the pathways to work on that. After my school, I went to the intermediate college back home. Uh, I think that was my first time facing the real world. And I still remember how that feels to me. I feel like that I'm now out of my house, out of my comfort zone, and there were a lot of challenges to work on. But worked on those, helped with the people, helped with my TCF family. I was able to get into the Dow Medical College, did my medical school, and Alhamdulillah, I'm here today.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And that's truly so incredible. As you mentioned, tonight our theme is all about teachers and their importance. You talked about it a little bit, but did you have a favorite TCF teacher or teachers who helped you and made an impact in your life?
I still remember all of my teachers in my TCF school with their names, what they were teaching me, what they were saying, what they were famous for. Uh, some of their sentences help me when I'm down or when I'm stressed about something. But the most impacted sentence that I had from my teacher was when I did my matriculation and I was going to intermediate. At that time, I was not with the people from the same background, from the same Kachiabadi. I was studying with the students who were coming from the elite schools. And I was a little bit complex at that time because I felt that I cannot compete with them. And in that stress, I went to one of my teacher. She was my Urdu teacher and one of the most favorite teacher of all of the students. She told me that you don't have to compare yourself on the basis of finance or on the basis of the essentials that you have, but you have to compare yourself on the basis of intellect, on the basis of your hard work. So I think this sentence has made a real impact on my life. When I went to my college, my med school, coming here, I never compared myself on the basis of anything that they no one have the control on. But I always compared on the things that we actually worked on, our skills, our educations, our approach to everything. I think that was the most memorable sentence and from one of my most favorite teachers. And I would say that TCF teachers were not limited only to my school, but all the TCF chapters who have been leading by are the great mentors. One I just heard, Amjad he has been a very great mentor to me. Like even listening to him made me cry sometimes. Other TCF leaders, when I came to the US, they made me feel like home, teach me how can I adjust here, what I need to do, what I not need to do, take me to the groceries, these basic things. And also, I know that if something happens, I have a lot of teachers, mentors available around me who can take care of me. So I'm really, really thankful to all those experience to my teachers, and I pray for them for their health and well-being.
Well, Sidra, I can tell you from an educator, I know all of your teachers are incredibly proud of what you've done, and we are too. We're so proud of where you have come. Well, let's talk about some donations that have come through. Again, so these again are my favorite donations coming from the children. Just like our TCF kids, we have our kids here in Seattle. We have Shazeb and Alishba, who are our prize children. Shazeb's donated $100 and Alishba $100. You both are such wonderful kids. We all love having you as a part of our team, and I can't wait to see what you guys grow up and do. So thank you for your donations.
And we have a donation for $10,000 from Iman and Hamad Rajud. We are so lucky because they are our regular photographers for the TCF event. So they're the ones who really get all those photos and put them out there for our social media. So thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Again, some more kids. These two kids, I personally have seen them since they were very little. When they first moved to Seattle, we got to know them. And now again, they're growing up. Musa and Iman Saman, both of them have donated $50. They are Aisha and Salman Zafar's children, and they're wonderful kids. Thank you so much for continuing to do everything you do for our community.
And from Hafiz Usman, we have $5,000. Thank you so much.
From Fasiha and Imran Farouk, $4,000. Thank you so much for giving that to us.
And from Sayeda Shikram, we have $500. Thank you so much.
Umar Azad with $30,000. Thank you. This goes so far in helping the TCF schools.
And from Bina and Gufran Iftikhar, we have $1,500. Thank you so much.
And now from the person that makes this whole show possible, from Masroob Hai and Shamila, $3,000. You know, he serves as our cameraman every year. He makes sure that we all are functioning well. He works wonderfully with the kids, and his wife, I personally love her as well. So thank you both for everything you do. We're so lucky to have you in our community.
And from Haja Ahmad, we have $250. Thank you so much.
From a personal friend of mine who I adore, Nosheen, and then Sahel, both of ours up, they are donating $5,000. Thank you so much for that.
And from Zohaib Rauf, we have $6,000. Thank you so much for this gift.
$5,000 from Zoya Arif and Ahmed Nadeem. Thank you for those donations.
Sidra, we actually have very exciting news. We are going to be joined by a school donor. And for those of you who don't know, it is a big commitment to build a school, because you're not just paying for the school and the construction costs, you're also paying for a few years of the actual operation costs. So please, everybody, welcome Raja Tanveer Iqbal. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Well, we would like to start by saying Aapka bahut shukriya for your generous gift. And we would love to know what motivated you to take this step and build an entire school for TCF.
Okay. So first of all, thank you. I think, I was told that I have about 5 minutes, right? So I do public speaking. I do trainings for a living, right? So, and don't consider myself a public speaker, but I would narrate this in a different manner. I would give you a story, like an anecdote and a story, and then you can connect the dots there, right? Let me start with the anecdote first, right? So let's think of a man, right? So a man started born into an affluent family, blessed with everything, attends the best schools in the country, goes to the best universities in the world, works for the best companies in the world. And for many people, he is an epitome of success, right? So man hits its 40s and wants to understand the meaning of life. Why has the Creator sent us, right? So, and reflecting on the purpose of life, right? So he talks to his daughter, 16-year-old daughter, and the daughter actually talks to her and asks her, have you ever thought about the purpose of life? And the daughter, like without blinking, says, to help others. That's it, right? So that's no reluctance, right? And the man wonders, actually, how can he not have this kind of clarity when the daughter, like 16-year-old, has such a clarity, right? So now let me go to the story. This was the anecdote. Like let's go back in time, like 60 years ago. I will tell you a story of a little boy. So the boy's name was Sher Muhammad, right? So, and Sher Muhammad was born in a remote village in Pakistan before independence. And the boy loses his mother earlier on, maybe 8 or 9. Then wants to go to school, but there are no schools nearby. And what can he do, right? So there are no schools. He wants to go to school. He wants to learn, but no options, right? Moves to a big city, far away from where he was born, and hoping that he would find better opportunities. Now, the boys, of course, the boy, there's no family support. He's not particularly, right? So, he's not born into a rich family. As a matter of fact, he's born into a family of farmers, right? So he moves to a remote city and decides he's working during daytime and going to school in nighttime. Okay. Learning, working hard. And so other friends around him, they would have fun after they day jobs, right? And he knows that he has to finish his school, right? And eventually, the boy made it eventually, right? So did well in life, right? So, and his second generation, actually, his sons and daughters end up being engineers, medical doctors, PhDs, educators, entrepreneurs, you name it, right? And so that boy, now a man, of course, right? So always tells his kids to work hard in life and help others, earn an honest living. And that boy now passed away like 4 years ago, right? So, and lived a very purpose-filled life, always told his kids to make an honest living. I mean, so all the time, make an honest living, right? So help others, and really appreciated education. So how is this, all of this related? So this man, actually, who was asking this question about the purpose of life, that's me. I was asking my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, so many times you have this question about, I mean, so why has Allah created us, right? And my daughter was clear, I mean, so to help others, I mean, there's nothing else, right? And that little boy actually was my father, who, and we never saw, so my father was actually born in I would say, not, I mean, in a poor family, right? So, and I have absolutely no shame. I'm actually proud of him, because of his drive and his motivation, his effort. I went to the best schools in Pakistan. I went to, I mean, I ended up at Stanford, right? So for me, life has been, I won the birth lottery personally. I didn't do anything, like anything. I mean, I was, they call it the birth lottery. I'm sure some of you have heard of this term, right? Basically, the home year that you're born in, it actually determines most of the time. And what TCF is doing is actually sort of shifting the odds for towards those who are less fortunate, because, I mean, most of us know, it, what the home that you're born in, that determines how successful you will be in life. And TCF actually shifting those odds. So I think for me, that's a no-brainer, that this has to be done. And I hope, when I meet my father again, I can tell him that I have helped other Sher Mohammeds out there. So that's pretty much it, right? So nothing. I think.
Thank you for sharing that. That is incredibly powerful. I appreciate you sharing those personal stories with us. Sidra, is there anything that you would like to say?
No, I'm so emotional right now to hear the Raja Iqbal story. And I'm sure when you will meet with your father, you can proudly say that you have produced a lot of Sher Mohammeds, not only.
Absolutely, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again for your generous contribution. It's going to mean so much. May all the dua of all those kids come directly to you and to your father.
Definitely.
Okay, Allah Hafiz.
And Allah Hafiz. And Sidra, one thing, right? So just to let you know, one of my sisters actually went to Dow Medical College, right? So I mean, that's yeah. So yeah, I'm from Karachi, and my one of my sisters actually went there. One of my sisters went to Sindh Medical, another went to Dow Medical. And I mean, just as an anecdote, I would like to tell others, I mean, how education can change generations, right? So that once my father was actually dropping my one of my sisters off at Sindh Medical College, and he told my sister that I worked at Jinnah Hospital as a laborer, and I never imagined that my daughter would be going to this.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I think all of us should actually, I tell everyone, and all of us should be supporting TCF as much as we can. So
thank you for that. Okay.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Wow. Look, I'm getting word from our producer. This is so exciting. We just got informed that we actually have a second school donor coming through. His name is Dr. Iftikhar Khan, and he's donated through Ruqayya Khanum Foundation. Thank you so much for that donation. I can't imagine, what impact that's going to have. An entire school is being built. So thank you and your foundation for that.
Echoing Nida, Jazakallah, thank you for your incredible gift. Donating an entire school is such a big commitment and a sacrifice, so thank you. Sidra, let's get back to our conversation. We would love to learn more about how TCF has impacted your family and also your community as a whole.
So I will start with my family. I'm not the only one who went through TCF and Alhamdulillah settled in my career and moving ahead. But all of my siblings, they went to the TCF school. My elder sister, she was initially studying in the government school that was far away from our house, and she has struggled a lot in the initial years. But she passed her CSS exams, and she is working as a civil servant right now as a bureaucrat. My elder brother, who went to the IBA, one of the top most school in Karachi, and he's working as with the World Bank as an assistant educational, and he is one of the co-author in the book The Agents of Change that we shared initially, and he also wrote a book with Ishrat Hussain as well. He's very encourageable, helping all the children to move ahead and shine in their career. My younger sister, she went to the LAMS, Lahore University of Management Sciences, to do her BS honors in accounting and finance. And right now she's working in the State Bank of Pakistan. My younger brother went to Habib University. He did BS honors in computer science, and now he's uh, working with the UBL and the other projects with the Infinity.
My
So
goodness.
this is my family.
Mashallah,
Yes,
mashallah.
yes, Alhamdulillah. My parents, they put a lot of struggles, and they are so proud of us right now. Just now, the Raja Iqbal Sahab was mentioning about his father. This remind me my father as well, who used to drop us to the bus stop, to the colleges, to the tuitions and everything to help us with that. And coming back to the community, the Ibrahim Goat, the one of the Kachi Abadi. Uh, so the Ibrahim goat is no longer the same as it was when I was born, because at that time the concept of sending children to the school was not there. Uh, but it takes a lot of time to make this change. It's still the initial video we saw, Daspa Chaudhry, the principal, who was mentioning that how TCF teachers used to go to the school, to the houses, encourage them to send their kids to the school. The situation was kind of similar in my community in the earlier years as well when TCF was built. And now when I go there, there is not even a question mark that if the children is going to school or not, because it's understood they are going to the school. They have not only a single TCF school, but multiple schools in the nearest community where they're going. And all the children that are graduating from the TCF, they're going to the colleges, they're going to the universities. They all talk about the education. They all talk about bringing change in the community with education. So although being a doctor, I know that the healthcare play an important role, but still, if I have to pick one thing, I would definitely pick education to work on that. As I have seen the difference, I'm seeing the difference, and I will be seeing the difference in the community and in Pakistan, inshallah.
Inshallah. So let's talk about those future goals. Do you have any particular goals for the future or any hopes for Pakistan?
So hopes are always there, but if we only keep the hopes, things may not work out. So definitely there are a few goals. The goals keep changing every day, every single time. Every time when I talk with the people who are working with the TCF, who are working with the organizations that are bringing change in community, uh, it keep reminding me that from where I belong to, how I started, and I have to help all those students or all those children who are in the similar background. So at the basic level, my goal is always to create an awareness among the peoples, let them know what platforms are available that they can work on. And in those, of course, TCF is always the first one close to my heart. I keep telling them, as Sana just mentioned, that just 1 cup of Starbucks coffee is equal to the education of one child for a month. And that if you donate that to TCF, it can bring a kid from the Kachi Abadi to the US to do their residency. We are seeing that, and uh, this donation can make this much of the difference. So this is my most awaited goal that I'm working on. But along with that, I try to be part of the donation as I'm in my career, along with my husband, who is also a very huge supporter of TCF, to create the awareness, help financially, encourage others to help with that. And also, I feel that I'm a role model, because I tried to set an example that you can achieve if you have this possible circumstances. You can work on that. You can use them, and nothing is impossible. You can work on your dreams, and you can achieve those with the hard work and education. Also, like, while I was growing up, I was inclined towards medicine because we didn't have the healthcare facilities nearby, and I was seeing people suffering. So my goal is to build the hospital on my parents' name, who work days and nights. Bring the Made the hospital, provide that to my community, my Ibrahim Goat, the access to the healthcare education. So these are like very few basic goals that I am working on right now. Uh, but I'm sure as I move forward, I will have few more goals, and maybe I will help my siblings to achieve their goals as well.
Inshallah, you will get
Inshallah.
all those goals.
And I really hope you're able to achieve them. I'm so excited to see all of that happen for you. I just want to say thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate you coming and sharing your narrative, and we wish you the very best in your future.
Thank you, Sidra, for coming.
Thank
Allah
you for having me.
Hafiz.
Very thanks to Seattle chapter as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Sana, it's women like Sidra that really make us so proud of what TCF has done and hopeful for the future of Pakistan.
100%.
TCF is changing lives, and your donations are exactly what are needed in order to do so. So speaking of that, let's talk about some of the donations that are coming through. We have Arzu and Sheikh at $3,000.
We have Gideon and Zubair Mohel at $17,500. Thank you so much.
Shaz and Annie Fazl with $10,000. Thank you both so much for your generous contribution.
We have $1,000 from Mohib Ibrahim. Thank you.
Sabra and Iqbal Soharwardi, $5,000. Thank you so much for that contribution.
And from an anonymous donor, we have $10,000. Thank you so much.
This is from a family. They're a wonderful, lovely family that always support TCF. Your support is very much acknowledged. Sobia Tariq and Waqas Ahmed with $5,000. Thank you both so much for that contribution and your continuing support of TCF.
And from Shireen and Omar Gajal, thank you so much for $5,000. May Allah sincerely give your family health. Dr. Omar has been incredibly vital in the vaccine rollout efforts here in the community. So thank you so much for everything that you've done.
Thank you for that. Shabad Beg with $200.
Sana Masam, myself.
I'll read Sana. Sana has decided to donate $850, but she's also giving up so much time. She's a wonderful person. Thank you for doing that,
Thank
Sana.
you.
We have Imrana and Mumtaz Malik. You know, both of them are community leaders. They lead PAGs, and they're always, there to help build the community up. Thank you to you both for donating $10,000 today.
And from Sonia and Zishan Furkan, we have $1,000. Thank you.
You know, there's always these people that decide to stay anonymous, but we want you to know that we recognize it. We have a $50,000 donation from an anonymous donor. Whoever you are, we thank you. May Allah bless you for that.
And from Asma and Saad Nawaz, we have $7,500. Thank you so much.
You know, like we mentioned earlier, TCF is currently running 1,697 schools. They've been educating more than 275,000 students. Your support is vital to continuing TCF's mission and work. As we saw with Sidra, that work can't be completed until we continue to donate.
Absolutely. And for all of you guys, remember that TCF is also eligible for corporate matching. So if you work at places like Microsoft or Google, please get your donation matched and pledge the amount, including that matched amount.
So, you know, during the pandemic, TCF actually created ways for children to continue their education. It was a program called Ilm Ka Aangan. It's a colorful and engaging show for kids. The program is structured around early childhood education. The episodes engage children through theme-based videos, activities, storytelling sessions by amazing actresses such as Sana Saeed, and physical exercise segments, and much, much more.
And every year we are so lucky. Our Seattle TCF kids give up some valuable time and support and come over for TCF kids in Pakistan to show their enthusiasm. And they do this by giving up their weekends to provide you with amazing content. Shukriya.
Our wonderful kids coming through still. The Ilm Ka Aangan episodes were so fun to engage in with these same children that our very own TCF Seattle kids decided to come up with their own version of Ilm Ka Aangan this year.
In fact, we had so many kids who wanted to contribute that we had to make additional segments. So if you don't see your child in this first video, please stay tuned as they will be there in the next videos.
We got the TCF kids from Seattle supporters together to watch Ilm Ka Aangan. Ilm Ka Aangan is a wonderful show created by the teachers and supporters of TCF to continue the learning of students during the pandemic. Our children had a great time watching Ilm Ka Aangan, and we want you to see their reactions while they watch it. So enjoy watching it.
Book I read was Mary Poppins. I read a dinosaur book. I read Ninjago. The last book I read was Prophet Muhammad. I read The Good Egg. I read The Prophet.
Be strong and never give up.
So is the whole. I want to be an acrobat. Flamingo. Spider-Man. I want to be an artist. Make aeroplanes. I like to make oil pastel and origami. I like to draw and color. What I like to do in arts and crafts is to paint. I like to make things out of cardboard. I like to paint. I like to make paper airplanes. I like to draw.
Son, I enjoy those kid videos so much. Every year I participate with them and they're amazing kids. So we actually have some more donations. Like I said before, there's always donators that choose to be anonymous, but they should definitely still be recognized. So we have two anonymous donators, one who donated $5,000 and the next who donated $16,500. Wow. It's amazing.
Thank you. From the Aziz family, we have $20,000, and I really have to commend this family as a whole. The entire family volunteers. Uncle, auntie, bhais, bhabis, the kids, everyone is always at all the events. So thank you so much.
We have Homama Zahra and Muhammad Osman who donated $1,200. Thank you both so much for that.
And from Faria and Omar Tareen, we have $10,000. This is another example of regular supporter families. We are so blessed to have people like you. Thank you.
We have Kiran and Farhan Khan who have donated $5,000 today. Thank you so much for that donation. We know it's going to go far for these children.
And from Sanya and Kamran Salahuddin, we have $5,000. Aapka bahut shukriya. Kamran uncle and Sanya auntie are one of the key members of the Seattle TCF group. So aapka bahut shukriya.
Thank you. Sana and Ghazni Ahmed donated $25,000. It's so amazing every time I see that. Thank you so much for that donation.
And from Sadia and Kashif Amin, we have $2,000. Thank you so much.
From Mona and Manzar Masood, $3,000. Thank you for that donation.
And from Anusha and Avas Iqbal, we have $10,000. Thank you so much. And they have also been longtime TCF Seattle organizers. Everything that you're seeing here today could not be done without their help. So thank you.
Thank you both.
We also have Nasreen and Muhammad Vakil. Nasreen auntie, Vakil uncle, thank you so much for $2,000.
And Anush and Farooq Ghaffar with $25,000. Thank you from the TCF team for donating that today. You know, there's something about watching young members of our community every year. It's so heartwarming and motivating. It's always been amazing to me to see how TCF is able to bring together people from all age groups. 12 years ago, TCF started with a mission to build 5 schools. Since then, the community has surpassed that dream. Sana, can you update us on how the Seattle community has done?
Absolutely. I'm so excited. And like Nida mentioned, TCF Seattle founders wanted to build 5 schools in 5 years. And when you open a dream like this to a community like Seattle, you can honestly achieve anything. In our 7th year, we had about 17 schools. In our 9th year, we had 20. And now here in our 12th year, we have 29 fully functioning schools. So thank you so much. This year, we have over 6,100 students across 29 schools. And all of these schools run morning and night shifts. So in total, we have 37 shifts. And with 100 times better than value of your money with a TCF school, you're getting much better impact from your money than some schools in Washington State,
Absolutely.
which pretty cool.
Amazing.
And with better graduation rates, better grades, also having more girls than boys, it's truly incredible. And in addition to that, last year we were blessed enough to gather a lot more money from you all. And we were able to install solar panels to help with the load shedding. So one solar panel came out to around $7,000, and between all the Seattle schools, we allocated $250,000. So thank you so much for all of your help.
We're making sure that the kids are getting their education despite the load shedding and power issues. Well, that was TCF Seattle. Let's kind of talk about how TCF is doing as a whole. TCF now has 1,687 schools across Pakistan at the most difficult areas. They've enrolled over 275,000 students, and they're employing 12,950 women as teachers today. It is an incredible impact, and we are so proud to be a part of that, Seattle. We want to make sure that we always give you the numbers and stats because it's so important for all of you to know where your hard-earned money goes and what your return on investment is. Though it might not be in a dollar amount, it'll be of achievement in knowing that 100% of your money goes to help these kids. That's so amazing, Sana. I want you all to rest assured that your money is going to be used and to create the most valuable possible opportunity for these kids in these TCF schools. Those students who attend those TCF schools are incredibly thankful for the opportunities that you are providing them. In fact, they have made a video to show you how thankful they really are. Seeing those children's faces and what everything means to them is really what this is about. That was so wonderful. I hope that it inspired you to also pledge today. Speaking of pledges, we have some more that have come through. We have Hina and Adnan Ijaz. They support the cause every year in Seattle. They donate to Seattle TCF every year. Please know that you are recognized and we thank you for your contributions. Hina and Adnan Ijaz have donated $25,000 this year.
From Hina Azhar and Sharjeel Sohel, we have $1,001. Thank you so much.
From Fatima and Tamur Rashid, they're a tech family. And again, they support us every year. Thank you so much to both of you for donating your $10,000 this year.
And from Afia and Rafi Abbasi, we have $15,000. Thank you so much.
An anonymous donor has donated $10,000.
From Nadia and Misbah Mahmoudi, we have $11,000. Thank you so much.
Rabia and Tosif Liaquat have donated $1,000. Thank you so much for that.
And from an anonymous donor, we have $100. Thank you.
Asra and Saad Saidigi have pledged $5,000 this year. Thank you both.
And from Nadia and Adil Siddiqui, we have $5,000. Thank you so much. This is another example of regular TCF supporters, and they also lead the initiative for Indus Hospital Seattle chapter. So they truly spread their generosity throughout the Seattle community. Thank you.
We're lucky to have you in our community. Farah and Awais Makbul with $2,000.
And from Hijab and Waznia, we have $10,000. And these are also core team TCF members. They also just got married. So congratulations.
Mubarak. Shazad Bhatti with $1,001. Thank you so much for that contribution to TCF today. Sana, we watched that video of the kids thanking us. It's really what makes TCF kind of something that we should absolutely donate to.
Absolutely. And, growing up here in this community, it's been wonderful because our community really is so generous. I mean, together we've built 29 schools that supports thousands of kids every single year. And these kids are counting on your contributions to continue their education and build their future. What I love most about the TCF Seattle community is that we all motivate each other to help TCF's cause. It's not just individuals who join in, it's families as a whole, as you've seen from the donations. I am so excited to have 3 of these wonderful community members join us live today to share what fuels their passion for TCF.
Today we have joining us Maria, her and her family have been involved with TCF over the years. This year, she was involved in making the gift baskets for our regular donors. Anushe, who has been a TCF supporter since middle school and hosted events in high school to raise funds for our organization. And of course, Javed Bhai, who is one of the founders of TCF Seattle, and he has built the roots that make this organization so successful. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you all for taking the time to be with us here tonight. I know you all have busy schedules, so thank you.
So the theme for this year's fundraiser is teachers, and Anusha, we'd love to start with you. It's so good to see you here today. I would love to hear from you about a teacher who really impacted you in your life and made you the lovely person that you are today.
Well, I grew up here in America, and I don't just have one teacher who's impacted me. I've had an army of teachers behind me. But one memorable story that I have is when I did my TCF fundraiser. It was my senior year. It was my senior project. And I have had inspiration to, all my teachers have always inspired me to kind of step out of the box, to do things, and to really dream big, basically. So while other kids for the senior project in my year were doing quilt making or learning how to cook, I actually decided to do a TCF fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And I got the opportunity to present the fundraiser to my middle school and to my high school teachers specifically, to kind of motivate them, to teach them about TCF and to motivate them to help out in any way that they could. I had my badminton coach from middle school actually came to the fundraiser. He texted me from outside, and he handed me a $500 check and left. But basically, that was like a big thing for me, that he cared enough to actually show up and to actually give money. And he took his time. He later on contacted me, and he had taken his time to learn more about TCF and everything. So that was a big deal to me.
That's so great that you've been able to kind of spread that throughout your teachers. Maria, our community has so many professional women like yourselves. Education is something clearly that we all value. Can you tell us what you believe a teacher can do for a young individual?
I think for me, it's a lot more of like my solid belief that teachers play a crucial role in culture transformation. And they can do this by really, teaching and exemplifying a growth mindset in our next generation right now, in our kids. By that, really switching from a know-it-all mindset to a learn-it-all mindset.
Absolutely.
And, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Maria, you've been here year after year. I've seen you. What motivates you to do all these different things within the community?
Besides, of course, my very initial belief that education is the right of every single individual, I think one of my other reasons is rooted in a couple of other projects that I'm really passionate about and topics, and one of them is rape and women in Pakistan. And as we have seen in the last couple of years, that it was not just the issues that really were brought up, but it was really the mindset and our population, how they reacted to what happened and in those cases. So I feel that, helping our next generation with this education and this cultural transformation is really going to help us move that needle on those topics that I'm really passionate about as well. So that's definitely one of the reasons why I'm very much active in this community.
Well, I love it. And, I look forward to working with you and continuing those passions.
Javed uncle, you left recently, and it has been so odd not seeing you at chai parties with Yasmin auntie. And I hope you enjoyed Chicago. लेकिन आप लोग यहाँ बहुत याद आते हैं. I'd love to know कि आपको क्या याद आता है about the Seattle community, and do you have a special message for us as well?
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thanks for all our guests and the TCF team who are putting a lot of hard work to put this event. I was afraid you might ask me a difficult question. After living in Seattle for 17 plus years, it was not an easy decision for me to leave.
Yeah.
The thing I love and miss the most is the journalist community of Seattle. I've lived in US 40 plus years in 7 different cities, but the love and generosity I got in Seattle was a wonderful experience. May Allah bless this whole community. For every event, whether it's TCF or anything else, Seattle community comes and delivers it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Javed Bhai, for that statement. The Seattle community truly, truly misses you. We actually have another community member that we'd like to celebrate today, to bring him on.
Community members Nazia and Bilal Alim have graciously donated a school to us. And the thing about the Alims is that it's not just a family that has been involved in TCF. They've been involved in multiple causes. And they don't just give to us financially, but they also give up their time across these organizations. And we are so fortunate to have them in our community and appreciate their generosity year after year. And we are so truly lucky to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, and they actually have generously donated an entire school this year. So we'd really like to recognize them, understanding that this community just absolutely is powerful. Thank you both for your generous donation of an entire school this year. Well, thank you all 3 of you for joining us today. We've loved having you. We are so lucky to have you. We miss you, Javed Bhai, but loved having you in this community. You really did set this all up for all of us. Thank you, all 3 of you, for joining us today. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
I just absolutely love our community members, and every single time they make us so proud. Well, let's go into some of the donations that are coming through. We have Nazish and Sahir Huda with $25,000.
We have another $25,000 donation from Maliha and Atar Halim. Atar Chachu, Maliha Chachi, aapka bahut shukriya.
Shukriya. An anonymous donor has donated $10,000.
And from Zanjabil Rana and Shoaib Nazir, we have $2,000. Thank you so much.
So one of our core members of the TCF team today has donated $5,000. His name is Saad Khan. Saad, thank you for everything you do for TCF and your donation and pledge today.
And from Binish and Arsalan Ahmed, we have $5,000. And they're also a tech couple and a big supporter of TCF. So this truly means so much. Thank you for your donation and the time you spend here.
Shazia and Ahmed Abdullah have donated $3,000.
And from Nazma and Anas Munir, we have $3,000. Thank you so much.
Shamaila and Dr. Muhammad Bilal Khan have donated $7,500. Thank you so much.
And from Amna and Asad Mohiuddin, we have $6,000. Thank you so much.
$5,000 from Shahid Qadri. Thank you so much.
And from Uzma and Paul McKee, we have $1,400. Thank you so much, Uzma, Auntie and Paul Uncle.
And Abid Jafri has donated $1,000. Oh gosh, these donations coming through mean a lot. Thank you so much.
And speaking of donations, I know, Nida, you shared your donation pledge with me, but would you be willing to share it here with our audience today as well?
Well, Sana, thanks for putting me on the spot a little there. But I do think that there is some value to sharing all these donations and why we do it. This year, I was thinking about what to give to TCF. Obviously, there's nothing more precious in the world to me than my son, Omar. He is turning 10 years old today. And when I thought about, what can be the most beneficial thing for him, I decided he's been here for 10 years. So this year, I'll be donating $10,000 to TCF. It goes well beyond just the thought of, hey, you're helping kids, which is really important. But know as a parent that those children that reap the benefit in Pakistan, they'll be sending you your dua and well wishes. And my hope is that those dua and well wishes will then come to my son and make him successful. It also shows him the power of giving and the impact that giving can have. So donating today, not only as a parent gives to those kids in Pakistan, but it does go back and give to your children as well. So as a parent, I urge you to please pledge today for TCF.
Inshallah, Amin. Thank you so much for your donation. Seattle, I think it's actually a great time right now to get a quick check-in on where we're at with our donations.
Yeah, let's take a look. Director?
Oh my gosh, 710,000. That is amazing, Seattle. Thank you so much.
It's a big jump from last time, but I'm not one of those people that just accept minimal. We're only halfway there, Seattle. Please continue pledging. Help us reach that goal of 1.5 million because Sana and I aren't leaving here until we get that. Remember that you can donate and it is tax deductible. You have that ID right there. Please utilize it. If you need to figure out how to donate, you can scan the box there.
Nida, it's honestly so great how TCF impacts all of these generations, even here in our community. And, TCF really does give back to so many people, as we saw here in the thermometer. And donating is especially impactful on the youth. And I can speak on that from personal experience. I was actually about 10 or 11 when I first donated to TCF for the very first time. And I remember coming home from school one day and Abu showed me a TCF newsletter magazine that I was mentioned in, right? And for someone at that age to see your name mentioned in a magazine and for TCF, it just really felt like I was on the cover of Vogue or Harper's Bazaar. So, it really does benefit the youth.
It really does. Well, speaking of magazines, let's talk about somebody that has. It's time to introduce our celebrity guest for the night. She's calling all the way from Karachi, Pakistan. She is a writer. Her latest short stories are called Are You Enjoying? And they are available in the UK, Pakistan, India, and the US. She is also a well-known actress. You may have all seen her on the popular drama Chupke Chupke.
She is also a passionate advocate for women's empowerment in Pakistan. Welcome to TCF Seattle's 2021 fundraiser, Meera Sethi.
Assalamu alaikum, Meera. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Nidan. It's so good to be here.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Karachi. You guys, so everybody knows, it's actually close to 6 a.m. in Pakistan. Meera is clearly dedicated to the cause, and that's why she is here tonight. Meera, you decided to join and support this cause of TCF. Can you tell us why?
So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. I think I was a teenager when TCF sprang into existence, and at the time, I knew nothing about it. All I knew in my teenage head was that it was a charity. And only recently did I discover that TCF is actually the largest employer of women in the private sector in Pakistan, which is huge. I would have thought it would be some textile company or something to do with, agriculture, or something to do with something completely different, but it's actually a school. And I think that is incredibly powerful. As many of you may have already heard, TCF has nearly 1,700 schools in Pakistan. They have 275,000 students, and they've been doing this for 25 years. And the real beauty of TCF is that they make schools in urban slums. So you're not going to have a TCF school in on the sidelines of a posh area in Lahore. They make schools where it truly counts, where they can change lives. And I think that the fact that TCF has schools in urban slums and in rural communities means that people who don't have the privilege, who don't wake up with their parents sort of hustling them out the door and saying, go to school, who don't have that setup, their lives are fundamentally transformed. And so TCF in my head, from when I was a teenager, went from being a charity to actually something quite revolutionary, because TCF is changing lives. And then these people pay it forward. So I'm thrilled to be here today.
Well, thank you so much. You kind of talked about young women in Pakistan receiving an education. I'd like you to, and the rest of the viewers, to hear a little bit about a girl who benefited from TCF schooling. Here's the story of Shaheen.
यहाँ पर जो लड़के जो जितने भी हैं वो सारे कश्तियों में जाते हैं। औरतें होती है ज़्यादातर खेतों में काम करती है, और इसके अलावा काफ़ी लड़कियाँ जो है घर में कढ़ाई सिलाई भी करती हैं। और जैसे लड़की बड़ी होती है ना, उसको सबसे पहले घर के काम सिखाते हैं, और घर के काम सिखाते ही उनकी ना 14 साल की उम्र में शादी हो जाती है। मेरा रिश्ता बचपन में ही पक्का था। जब मेरी उम्र 10 साल हुई थी, मैं 4th क्लास में पढ़ती थी, तब मेरा निकाह कर दिया गया था। जो मेरा हस्बैंड है शहबाज, उनका मैट्रिक मेरा इंटर हुआ, हमारी शादी कर दी गई, और फिर हमें उनके घर आ गई। लड़की की जल्दी शादी कर देने का मकसद ये है कि वो बुरे काम नहीं करेगी, कि अगर वो ऐसे बैठी रहेगी तो हमारा नाम बदनाम हो जाएगा और लोग हमें टोकेंगे। जैसे कदीमा ज़माने की सोच थी, वही सोच अभी तक गाँव में मौजूद है। तो उनको ऐसे लगता है ना, एक जानवर का सौदा कर दिया गया, उसी तरह ऐसे ही सौदे होते हैं। मेरी अम्मी चाहती थी कि मैं घर के काम करूं। जब मैंने 5 कर लिया तो कहा कि अब आपकी उम्र बड़ी हो गई, आप बॉयज़ के साथ नहीं पढ़ सकती। जब मेरे वालिदैन मना करते थे ना, स्कूल ना जाओ, तो फिर मैं बहुत ज़्यादा रोती थी, दुआएं मांगती थी, फिर मैं खाना भी नहीं खाती थी, बस रोती थी। तो इस वजह से मेरी अम्मी ने एक दफ़ा मेरी बुक्स भी जलाई थी 4th क्लास में, कि आप ज़िद करती हो पढ़ने के लिए, मना किया गया है कि नहीं जाओ। गाँव वाले भी ऐसा बोलते हैं आपको कि सब ने स्कूल छोड़ दिया, आपका क्या है, मतलब सब लड़कियों ने छोड़ दिया था, सिर्फ मैं ही रह गई थी। मैंने TCF से मैट्रिक किया और TCF में ही पढ़ाना स्टार्ट किया, और क्लास 6 to 8 को मैं साइंस पढ़ाती हूँ और 9th को बायोलॉजी पढ़ाती हूँ। फिर यहाँ पर ये जो इमारत बन रही थी, ये पता नहीं था स्कूल है, अस्पताल है, क्या है, लेकिन मैं इतनी दुआएं मांगती थी, अल्लाह करे यहाँ स्कूल बन जाए, मैं पढ़ूँ। तो अभी TCF की वजह से बहुत अच्छा मतलब माहौल बना है। काफ़ी इतनी खुशी होती है कि माशाल्लाह हमारे 100 बच्चे इस एरिया के पढ़ रहे हैं। अगर मेरी कामयाबी के पीछे किसी का हाथ है तो वो मैडम फरजाना है। आज तक मेरे साथ है वो, अभी तक 7 क्लास से लेकर अब तक। वो पहली स्पीच में जो मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस पैदा किया, और अब तक जो मैं बच्चों को पढ़ाती हूँ कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ, मैं उन्हीं की तरह पढ़ाती हूँ। और तालीम नहीं दी, मुझे एक अच्छी ज़िंदगी भी दी है, एक फ्यूचर दिया है मेरा। तो मैं अपने गांव के लिए बस एक ही चीज़ देखती हूँ, मैं कहती हूँ गांव का बच्चा पढ़ा हुआ हो, जो मेरे पास इल्म है वो मैं अपने बच्चों में लेकर आऊँ और उनको उतना ही बाशवर बनाऊँ कि वो इतने आगे बढ़ सके और कुछ कर सके। मतलब कोई मेरा स्टूडेंट अगर किसी बड़ी पोस्ट पे पहुँचेगा, मुझे लगेगा कि मेरा ख्वाब जो था वो पूरा हो गया। तू शाहीन है परवाज़ काम है तेरा, तेरे सामने आसमां और भी है।
That was unbelievable.
So emotional.
I mean, her story is just incredible, and it's so amazing to see where Shaheen is today.
That was incredibly powerful, and what I am most moved by is that, you know, Shaheen talks about Miss Farzana, who was her inspiration. And so there is a link of all these women who are inspiring each other. And that is how you create community, that is how you create networks, and that is how you pay this kind of education forward. And the fact that Shaheen's mother had burnt her books, you know, this is the kind of stuff you hear about, but you never actually get to visualize or sort of see the consequences of.
Yeah.
This was incredibly moving. And, you know, this reminds me actually, Sana and Nida, of a sher in Punjabi, if you will let me share it with all of you. ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਹ ਲੈਣਾ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਹ ਲੈਣਾ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, ਤਾਈ ਉਹ ਵੱਡੀ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹਨੇਰੀਆਂ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, which roughly translated is, girls must have learned how to breathe from the dust. That is why they grew up to become storms. And I think Shaheen is a Shaheen, but she's also a beautiful gust. She's a whale. She's a storm, because she has the will now to pass on that torch. And that is so moving, because those of us who take this stuff for granted, we don't have that fire. And TCF enables women like Shaheen to retain that fire. And it's just incredibly powerful to see the real life consequences of the work that TCF is doing.
Absolutely. And thank you for that beautiful comparison. I absolutely see that. Pivoting a little bit, we would love to know, is there a certain artist or artists who have inspired you throughout your life?
Yeah, so I think Bushra Ansari, the actress, has really is an icon in Pakistan, and she's optimistic, she's sort of fiery, she's funny, she wears many hats. I'm deeply inspired by her. And then I was very, very inspired by Asma Jahangir, the late great Asma Jahangir, who was a human rights lawyer in Pakistan, because she fought on behalf of women. And even the women who didn't agree with her, you know, when they would fight with their husbands, they would say, when their husbands would sort of fight with them, they would say, ऐसे मेरे से बात की तो आसमा जहांगीर को जाके बताऊंगी. Women empowering other women, there is nothing greater than that, I think. Absolutely. And on that note, Sana and Nida, if I may, to our friends in the Seattle community who are watching, you know, आप लोगों ने already इतना donate किया है और दिल खोल के किया है, and you know, I would just urge you to जितना आप दे सकते हैं दें, because it's going to a very concrete cause that is well established and long established, and is empowering you know, society at a very, very fundamental level. So I'm very grateful to be here. और आप जितना दे सकते हैं please दें, because it basically changes people's lives.
Absolutely, I agree. Please listen to that. Do donate today, pledge today. Mita, thank you for telling us about the people that inspire you. Like, and I have a few people that I think can inspire you further on your next role. Let's take a look at a video made by our kids, TCF kids.
That means Noka. Learn some Urdu words. मुझे फूल पसंद है. This means now in English. तो फिर आपने उर्दू में बोलने ताकि उनको समझ ना आए. मेरे पास से दोस्त है. A biologist. I want to be a U.S. Navy pilot. I want to be a wildlife protector.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a soccer player. Or a vet, because I want to see puppies. I want to be a belly dancer.
आपकी dream job मिलेंगी. I want to be a doctor when I grow up.
I want to be a pilot and an artist.
I want to be better.
Scientist.
And a chef. Be cool, go to school. Work hard and have fun.
I love teacher.
The best thing for school is making friends. पढ़ते रहो.
TCF kids are cool.
Like a diamond in the sky. I love TCF.
To work hard and read.
I got your back.
Education is power.
Use your time wisely.
Hope you're doing good in school. Keep striving.
I hope you enjoyed watching our kids and seeing their reaction. 3,000 kids in Pakistan watched Ilm Ka Angan every week, and I hope you watch it with your kids. Allah Hafiz.
Mira, did you get some good inspiration for your next role?
That's adorable. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. You know, when we look at these kids, Mira, I always think there's really no difference between our kids, the ones that you saw in the video, and the kids that are so deserving in Pakistan. It really is just a matter of where they were born.
Absolutely. And totally. Which is why, you know, those of us who are here today, those of us in Seattle and I'm in Karachi, I think we're all part of one little home, right? Which is Pakistan essentially. And even though you guys live in the US, you're sort of working to help Pakistan in a way because you're not there. And so when you're away from home, I think wo ek longing hoti hai, you know, to help home in any way you can. And so, you know, those of our friends who are tuned in, you know, as immigrants, I think I used to live in San Francisco for 2 years, and I remember feeling just constantly longing for home. And if one can do something good for that home, then there's nothing more gratifying.
Absolutely. And, you know, like we were born here, but TCF gives us that ability to stay connected to Pakistan. And so the next generation also loves Pakistan. Now my son's a part of it. So I agree that continues. Let's talk about some of those donations that are coming through. We have Farah and Mia Khurram who are donating $10,000 today. Thank you so much.
From Farzana and Ayaz Bakhsh, we have $2,000. Thank you so much, Farzana, Auntie, and Ayaz, Uncle.
We have an anonymous pledge that came in for $5,000.
We have another anonymous pledge, which came in for $15,000. Thank you so much.
Adnan Ikram has donated $1,000. Thank you for that generous contribution.
And we have another anonymous donation for $20,000. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
$10,000 from Mayada and Khurram Agha.
And from Aisha and Ahmed Munish, we have $10,000. And another wonderful example of a tech couple who are here, who are always supporting TCF, both in the background and through their donations.
Thank you, Aisha ji and Hubby. Thank you so much.
An anonymous donor has donated $10,000.
And from Sidra and Wakas Javed, we have $1,000. Thank you.
Now we have a donation from somebody that's part of a software family. They've always supported TCF and they give a lot to all the charities and so many causes. Thank you, Ashi and Aftab Faruqi, for donating $5,000 today.
And from Avas Ali, we have $1,000. Thank you so much.
Mira, I think it's time कि हम देखें कि how well have we been doing tonight. Let's get an update on how we've been doing.
Wow.
Look at that.
We are past where we hit last year.
TCF Seattle, I am incredibly proud to say that we've already hit that number.
That's incredible. And I think so much of this speaks to the Seattle community's commitment, you know, historic commitment to TCF Pakistan. This is amazing.
Absolutely. And I think just with one more small push, we can reach that 1.5 million. Inshallah, I full belief we can.
Let's go, Seattle. Let's get that final push and get to that 1.5 million. Again, here's the different values. Decide what you can do and then push a little bit further. Whatever means you have, make sure you donate to this amazing cause today.
Absolutely. No amount is too small. And remember, all of your pledges are zakat eligible and can be matched, corporate matched.
Absolutely. Mira, you kind of pointed out earlier that it's just so amazing that TCF employs so many women. Mm-hmm. Like we all pointed out, it's the #1 private employer of women in Pakistan. As an advocate for empowerment of women, why is it so important to have women in the workforce? And how does it affect their overall communities?
I think it's crucial, and thank you for actually bringing that up. I read research somewhere that having women in politics, so in Pakistan, we have quotas for women, and a lot of people critique this and say, let them just participate via the electoral process. Why do they have reserved seats for women? But research actually shows that if a woman sees another woman participating in the political process, she is inspired then to do the same. So real life examples, there is nothing more immediate and more inspiring than that. And especially in the rural communities in which TCF operates, having female teachers is a game changer, because in these conservative communities, they send their girls to school and they want their girls to feel comfortable. And so if we want to empower a society, you basically have to start with the girls, so that, because the boys often get educated anyway, right? And so a girl will pay it forward 10 times more because they are less likely to get it.
Absolutely. Speaking of all that, TCF actually takes it a step further. They've recognized how important it is to get these women in these community active. So they actually have a program called Agahi, which runs across the entire Pakistan. It actually has helped already 126,000 women. It provides literacy training so that these women can function on an everyday basis, learn to read signs. They install fresh water purification plants so that the communities that TCF is in gets the water, an essential thing for life. Also, they provide vocational training and expand economic opportunities for women. So they're educating and training them to actually go out.
That's incredible.
We're very lucky. Sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, this is the thing, is that one doesn't realize what a trickle-down effect this kind of thing has. On the face of it, it seems very abstract, but like we saw with Shaheen, it completely transformed her life. She, unlike her mother, is now going to give her daughter an education because she knows she has reaped the benefits of that education. So, for those of us who are privileged enough to have gone to school and to never have thought about these things, hum to imagine bhi nahi kar sakte ki people who've had to sort of fight to create a whole sort of structure for themselves, this changes their lives. And so your donations, it's not just that you're funding somebody's schooling for 2 years, you are fundamentally changing their life. And so I would urge you to pledge as much as you can, because your money will go such a long way.
Yeah, and speaking of Shaheen, we saw how she actually became a teacher. For generations, teachers have been inspiring students. No matter what age you group come from, you're thankful and you remember those experiences. हमारी प्यारी नानियाँ, दादियाँ और माएँ शुरू से हमें सिखाती हैं कि टीचर्स की इज्जत किया करते हैं. We hold teachers to such a high regard in our culture. Let's share some of a video made by our प्यारी नानियाँ and दादियाँ and माएँ, which shows what teachers actually mean to them.
हमारे उस्ताद
कितनी मेहनत से पढ़ाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद, हमको हर इल्म सिखाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद.
तोड़ देते हैं जहालत के अंधेरों का तिलिस्म, इल्म की शम्मा जलाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद.
मंजिले इल्म के हम लोग मुसाफिर हैं, मगर रास्ता हमको दिखाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद.
जिंदगी नाम है कांटों के सफर का, लेकिन राह में फूल बिछाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद।
दिल में हर लम्हा तरक्की की दुआ करते हैं, हमको आगे ही बढ़ाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद।
सबको तहजीब व तमद्दन का सबक देते हैं, हमको इंसान बनाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद।
हमको देते हैं बहरहाल पयामे तालीम, अच्छी बातें ही बताते हैं हमारे उस्ताद।
खुद तो रहते हैं बहुत तंग व परेशान, मगर दौलते इल्म लुटाते हैं हमारे उस्ताद।
TCF के असातिज़ा को हमारा सलाम।
That was so lovely and heartwarming.
It's so cute. You know, Mira, watching these Nania and Dadia, did you like the poetry?
I loved the poetry and also the way they were reciting it, I thought was adorable. And actually, I also have a share on the subject of teachers. होता ना कोह कन कोई फरहाद के बगैर, होता ना कोह कन कोई फरहाद के बगैर, आता नहीं है कोई फन कोई उस्ताद के बगैर. They are central. And in fact, you know, when I was actually not a great student, but I do remember that my English teacher would say to me, "Stand up, Mira, Mira Sethi, stand up." And I would stand up and she would say, "Chale essay padhe apna out loud." And then I would read my essay. And that's when I knew when I was 16 that I wanted to be a writer. And if it hadn't been for teacher Nuzhat, I don't think I would be a writer today. So teachers just switch something on here and then it never goes off.
Yeah, it's so amazing how much of an impact. You just need that one teacher with that one line. Everybody remembers one line that they gave them, and it changes the complete direction of somebody's life. You know, I think about how inspirational Pakistani women are. And the one that inspired me the most is actually my Nani. My Nani, unfortunately, became widowed at a very young age with 10 tiny kids to raise. They were living in Peshawar, and lots of people encouraged her to actually go and have them start working, because how is she going to support 10 kids on her own? But she had this passion for education. She said, I'm going to give an education to all my kids. She told me stories about how she would take the little gold jewelry that she had and break it on her own in her house and go sell little pieces. And with that money, she would pay the tuition for her kids. And alhamdulillah, that day goes, and today her granddaughter is sitting here as a surgeon in the US.
That is, mashallah, mashallah. That is beautiful. You know, and you know, my own Nani, alhamdulillah, she's now 92. And she hasn't, you know, been well of late, but she's led a remarkable life as well. She told me recently, she said in Punjabi, she said, "Eh, jehdi Mitchell chili garlic sauce tu khani hai, mainu pata hai kitthon aayi hai?" I said, "Kitthon aayi hai? Mitchell the factory to aayi hoegi." She said, "Nahi, ye meri recipe hai." So she spun the recipe in her kitchen and then she sent it to the factory, and it's now Mitchell's one of their top selling products.
Wow, amazing. उनसे शुक्रिया कहें. उन्हें हम सबको बहुत अच्छा sauce दिया. We all use that at home.
I'm so glad.
But yeah, you know, you were saying it is impressive how like each generation tends to help the next generation. And so with your TCF donations, you're breaking the cycle of poverty. You're allowing generations to be impacted. So let's talk about some of the donations that have been coming through. We have Amna and Sohaib Hassan with $13,000.
Wow, thank you so much.
We have $1,300 from Dr. Zainab Vikas, and she was actually recently called for night duty, and they gave her $650 to donate, and she wanted to give this to TCF as well as match the total to add it to $1,300. So thank you so much, Dr. Zainab.
Thank you for choosing this organization. Anam and Abdullah Ansari have donated $10,000. Shukriya bahut bahut. Thank you for that donation.
Thank you, the Ansaris. Thank you so much.
And from Fazia and Mujtaba Hamid, we have $6,000. Thank you so much.
Sadia and Kashif Amin have donated $2,000.
And from Ifat and Abdul Naim, we have $1,000.
An anonymous $5,000 donated today. Thank you to whomever it is.
And from Anonymous, we have $6,000. Thank you so much, this anonymous donor.
Mehdeed and Adnan Khan have donated $1,000. Thank you so much for your donation and your pledge today.
And from Sahar and Arif Akbal, $10,000. Thank you so much. And also, best of luck with your new tech adventure. It's called lam.pk. So best of luck with this venture.
Awesome.
And from Kamal and Avaz Khan, $10,000. Thank you so much to you guys as well.
So now, actually, Mira, we've talked about some donations. Let's talk about those who give so much. We talked about it earlier in the show, but it's a huge, huge plight to donate an entire school.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Today, we have Zora and Naveed Zafar. I'd like to share the story with them. First of all, Naveed Bhai, thank you so much for actually sharing this story with us and allowing us to kind of share any empathy from all of the TCF Seattle team. We do feel for you. Naveed's brother was here, left us a few weeks ago at a really, really young age. And Naveed Bhai and his family have decided to carry his memory by building this school. As somebody who also lost somebody recently due to COVID, I want to tell you that it's so special that you're allowing us to share your story and then contributing to such an amazing cause. May all the dua from those children that are going to benefit the school come to you, your family, and your brother.
And I would like to echo your sentiments as well. Thank you so much. Mira, we're just so lucky to be in the Seattle community. We, in fact, actually have another school donor who will be joining us live here today, Abid Masood. And thank you so much for this generous donation. Would you please share with us why you decided to give a generous contribution?
Assalamu alaikum. So actually मैंने basically अपनी वालदा के नाम dedicate किया है. She just passed away in Ramadan basically. I can talk a little bit about like background. Actually, I think so. One of the hosts just shared a story. मेरी story very similar है. तो मेरी वालदा ने सिर्फ तीसरी जमात तक एक्चुअली फॉर्मल एजुकेशन ली थी क्योंकि उनके गांव में कोई स्कूल वगैरह नहीं था. आफ्टर दैट शी वाज सेल्फ टॉट एक्चुअली. उन्होंने खुद से कोई लोगों से पास जाके पूछ के और सीखा और पढ़ा और उनको बहुत एजुकेशन का बहुत शौक था. तो खैर उनकी शादी हुई इंजीनियर से लकीली. तो हम मिडिल क्लास फैमिलीज से ताल्लुक़ रखने लग पड़े. लेकिन 91 में मेरे वालिद साहब का एक्चुअली इंतकाल हो गया. So we just dropped from like functioning middle class to actually lower class family. तो उस वक्त मैं 13 years old था, तो मैं ही बड़ा था. तो हमारे सारे रिलेटिव कह रहे थे कि इसको जो है ना वर्कशॉप में हम लगा देते हैं या रेडी ये शुरू कर ले क्योंकि अदरवाइज ये कैसे होगा. तो मेरी वालदा ने उस दिन डिसीजन किया था कि नहीं, एजुकेशन उनके लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है लाइफ में. तो शी सोल्ड एवरीथिंग शी कैन सेल. सो मेक श्योर कि अच्छा हम लोग जो है ना वो पढ़ते रहें. वैसे भी हमारी फैमिली में सिर्फ हम सिबलिंग ही हैं जो पढ़े. तो बाकी तो बहरहाल तो वो बेसिकली और फिर यहाँ जो भी है. तो अब आपके सामने अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मैं डोनेट कर सकता हूँ. तो मेरी वालदा ने सारी लाइफ अपनी लोगों को लाइक जो घर में काम करने वाले आते हैं उनके बच्चों को पढ़ाना, उनके बच्चों को फीस वगैरह देना, दैट वाज हर लाइफ. तो मुझे लग रहा था कि भी इससे अच्छा क्या तरीका होगा उनके लिए सदका जारिया कि जो वो सारी उम्र करती रही हैं उसी को के लिए मैं अगर स्कूल डोनेट कर सकता हूँ तो वो डोनेट. सो दैट्स माय स्टोरी एक्चुअली. एंड थैंक यू फॉर.
एंड यू नो कितनी आपकी वालदा अपनी जनरेशन के लिए कितनी विजनरी थी. यू नो कि उनको उस वक्त दिख गया था कि एजुकेशन सबसे जरूरी चीज है. और उन्होंने सब कुछ अपना मतलब on the line लगा दिया to in order for you to get an education, and mashallah you are paying it forward now.
बढ़ के इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट है, फन फैक्ट है कि मेरे वालिद साहब की इनहेरिटेड कोई थोड़ी सी प्रॉपर्टी, छोटी सी प्रॉपर्टी थी सिंध में जो उन्होंने सारी सेल कर दी थी. तो अब ये जो स्कूल भी बन रहा है ना, ये भी सिंध में रोड़ी में है.
No.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's how life is actually.
Full circle, Abid Saab.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Abid Bhai, thank you so much. I mean,
Thank you.
from the bottom of all of our hearts, from the TCF Seattle team, it is so amazing to have what you did today, and your story was wonderful. I hope कि आप भी inspire करेंगे सब to all the viewers today that one day they can do the same. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much, Abid Saab.
Okay, thank you very
Allah
much. Thank
Hafiz.
you. Allah Hafiz.
Yes. Wow. People's stories are so incredible, right?
It absolutely is. It really is. And it, you know, I look at honestly, you know, there's so many stories in the Seattle community. You know, hopefully, inshallah, one day you'll get to come and meet them. They're wonderful. And just these stories are just so impactful. And I hope that the viewers out there are understanding how much this education and this opportunity really gives to kids. It's a very, very heartfelt thing. Know that it's well tested, and please, please pledge today. So we also have another donor who actually donated a full school to us, Mira. It's amazing. And I know our director is telling me right now that we're getting it, but they have chosen to be anonymous today.
Oh, but that's their prerogative. But thank you so, so much, because I know how far that will go. And so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And that is, you know, huge.
Amazing. Thank you so much to the anonymous donor for donating this school today. You know, there's another portion of our community that participates in TCF. These are kids that started with the TCF community back when they were young kids, and now they've grown into young adults. They've helped support and organize things for their organization. They actually formed their own little group, and it's called TCF Next Gen. And they've come together to make us this video.
Hi. I know that TCF Seattle Youth is working on the Citizens Foundation. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions about teachers? Because this year's theme is appreciation of teachers.
Yes, please. Come on in.
What makes a good teacher?
A great support system.
Hi, welcome in. Let me check your temperature.
Hi, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
A teacher is
the heart of an education system.
Hi, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
A good teacher is
a master of simplification and an enemy of simplism.
Good answer. Hey Musa.
Yeah?
What is a great teacher to you?
A great teacher is someone who doesn't give answers to remember, but problems to solve. Hey, a little this way? Alright, perfect.
Hi, can I ask you through a question? Classroom
is where my teacher makes my dreams come true.
Is where my teacher helps me see my future. Is nothing without my teacher.
Hey, can I ask you two girls a question? My teacher has the ability.
My teacher has the ability to show me the light when I'm surrounded by darkness. My teacher has the ability to see the future in my eyes.
Good answer. Hey Alia, what is the supreme art of a teacher?
To awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge.
And Hamza, who are teachers?
Teachers are society heroes.
Hey guys, my teacher.
My teacher is an awakener. My teacher is an encourager.
My teacher has not only taught me how to count, but what counts in life.
Wow guys, this looks incredible. You guys did a really good job.
Hi Izza, would you like to say something about teachers?
Teachers are supposed to show you where to look, but not tell you what to see.
Hey Ali, a teacher's effects are...
A teacher's effects are eternal. You never know when their influence might end.
Hi, can I ask you all a question? My teacher
creates a learning environment which encourages us to take risks.
My teacher gave me the best gift of all, believing in me.
Has shown me a purpose to live.
Hey Suleiman, you love your teacher because...
She gives me something to think other than homework.
Nice answer. Hi, can I ask you a quick question? Teachers.
Teachers plant the seeds of knowledge that grow forever. Hey, before you leave, I have something for you.
Thank you so much for answering my questions. This is a great cause.
Thank you for coming.
Before you go, I have a question for you, TCF kids in Pakistan. What do you think about your teacher?
Thank you, TCF Next Gen. कैसा लगा मीरा?
That was so cute and sweet and so inspiring, actually. All the quotes.
These kids really are amazing, and I'm just so excited to see what they're going to do for our future.
I know.
Well, Chalo, let's talk about some of the donations coming through. We have Hum Sabki favorite Baji, Sara Puri, donated $5,000.
From Nabila and Dr. Ijazata, we have $2,500.
So this is somebody that behind the scenes has been working really hard. He's actually responsible for all the tech, and the show would not be possible, or the program would not be possible without him. Anam and Milal Mughal have donated $10,000, not only money, but time and commitment to this TCF organization.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
From Soha, Tanwizi, and Farooq Masood, we have $3,000. Thank you so much.
Ishrat and Mansoor Mirza have donated $10,000.
And from Wazma and Hasnat Naveed, we have $2,800. This is another one of our tech couples and a regular donor in TCF Seattle. So thank you so much.
Atika and Shahid Azam have donated $1,000.
And from Getty and Omer Aulan, we have $3,500. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Omer.
And somebody that's actually a colleague of mine, Dr. Nadeem Zafar and his wife, Dr. Seema Abbasi, have donated $1,200. Thank you so much.
And from Mariam and Kamran Saeed, we have $2,500.
Thank you.
Sabah and Jawad Mia have donated $1,200.
And from Tariq and Tariq Sharfuddin, we have $2,000. Thank you.
Rana Ajaz has donated $2,000.
We have another anonymous donation for $5,000. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ismat and Ikram Al-Haq have donated $4,000.
And from Aud Zaidi, Masroor's daughter, we have $200. Thank you so much for this.
And from Shahnawaz Khan, $5,000.
And in addition, Masroor's other daughter, Iza Saidi, has donated $200. Thank you so much to the both of you.
Saima and Shahid Anis have donated $5,000.
And from Rehan Bashir, we have $2,000. Thank you so much.
And from my friend Samra Khalid has donated $600. Thank you so much, Samra.
And from International Cousinism, $2,300. Thank you so much. This is actually a WhatsApp group of many of my extended relatives. Aapka bahut shukriya.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. I'm getting so curious about what our target is right now.
Us as well.
Us too. I think it's time, Mira, for us to actually ask our director, Saab. It's time for you to tell us, how have we done this year for our TCF fundraiser?
All right, let's see the final numbers.
You really got to see these numbers. So the goal this year was $1.5 million.
Yeah.
And Mira, Sana and I are not leaving here until that is met. So can we?
Honey, nor am I.
And she's sitting all the way in Pakistan. So come on, Seattle. Let's see how we've done.
We have a dedicated team here. All right,
Yeah.
Director Sahib.
Mira, last year, Jathana was 1.2. तो हम दोनों ने ये decide किया कि we got to up that, right? So our goal really is 1.5. I'm not a great mathematician, so all these numbers that have come through, I have no idea where we're at. We just got to figure it out. So that goal of 1.5 million, what have we reached today?
All right, let's see.
Wow! Wow! That is incredible.
Seattle, I am absolutely
Seattle, I think I should move to
shocked.
Seattle.
Ajay, this is well beyond what we thought we could ever do. $2 million, $268,532. Amazing, Seattle. I am just so proud.
Seattle, आप लोग तो छा गए हैं. Amazing.
We've built now 6 new schools, Sana. That is so impactful, Seattle. I am just so proud. As a native Seattleite, both of us, we can't tell you how proud we are of you all.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sitting all the way in Karachi,
went beyond.
may I just say, sitting all the way in Pakistan, I know how far this is going to go here. And I honestly have goosebumps because this is incredible. Because I wasn't anticipating this much. But thank you.
Truly.
Thank you.
Mita, and you've been here. I think now I'm getting really emotional. I'm not usually this emotional, but I'm so proud of what Seattle has done. I think that it's time that we recognize everybody that's come together. First of all, I'd like to thank the TCF team, Seattle TCF team. They've worked hours and hours to bring this forward. We thank you. A special thanks to Sheriad and Kiran, Sheri Bhai and Kiran, for lending us this place. We've taken up so many hours of their generosity. We want to thank all of the guest speakers that we had, including you, Mita, today. And we've also
doing this.
I absolutely a big shout out and huge thank you to all of you Seattle community donors. You have really been the ones that got us to this goal, well past our goal. To all the volunteers, the kids, and the parents that came together to make this show, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. But today we had dedicated this show to teachers. So our final thank you to all the teachers that serve TCF and around the world. Thank you for what you do. You truly are the superheroes.
And again, to you, Mita, to all of our viewers,
thank you and Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Khuda Hafiz, and I'm so moved by this. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Good night, Seattle.